Yo, what is going on? It's BoySock here, and today I'm back with another video for the WBE channel. We have the weekly recaps for the Sword Division, and we are in the quarterfinals, and I am not alone.
Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is JB, and yeah, there's some great games this week for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Quarterfinals mean the best games come on out of everyone, so it's very, very exciting to see all these games. We had rematches, because every one of these was a rematch, because everyone played each other, because that's how round robin works.
He has a point.
So with that, the housekeeping stuff as usual, be sure to go check out the Twitter at Pokemon WBE. There will be an updated graphic on it with the playoffs after this video goes live on here. So you guys will be able to see exactly who plays who into next games for the semi-finals for our division here. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see as the games heat up. It's going to be really fun.
All right, and be sure to go check out the Onage shop as well. Be sure to pick up a t-shirt for your favorite coach. The shop won't be around much longer, so be sure to take advantage of that and pick up a shirt.
Awesome. So let's just jump into our first game here, which is rematch of the Dans. We have the Newcastle Needle Kings, coached by Patters, versus the Minnesota Vikavolt, coached by Dan, aka A-Drive. Dan, A-Drive, brought a team of Venusaur, Kyurem Black, Florges, Gastrodon, Skarmory, and Lycanroc Dusk, versus Patters, Snorlax, Delphox, Escavalier, Hippowdon, Tapu Koko, and Terrakion.
Alright, so the main story of this game, as it is with a lot of games in Draft League format, but especially with this one, was the prep. A-Drive ended up bringing basically the same team he brought last game, and Patters brought a very different, very wacky sort of team. Z Thunder Snorlax? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was really wild to see this game. There's a lot I want to go over in this game, so I have quite a few notes, so you'll have to bear with me here. But Patters did end up showing this on stream the day it released, so I was kind of in chat, kind of being around there, and I asked Patters for a quote, and he said, and I quote, "Z Thunder from Snorlax kills Skarmory." That sums up this entire game in one quote, pretty much.
That is very true. That is exactly what happened. Also thought the Delphox set put in a ton of work as well.
Yes.
Sub, Protect, Toxic, Mystical Fire, great set. Mystical Fire being able to lower the special attack of stuff like, Florges or Cure Black or what have you. Yeah, just a great set overall. Put in a ton of work as well. And, yeah.
Yeah, one thing I do want to go over on Dan's side here, Scalding on turn 1 was kind of an interesting play. Like, sure, burning the Escavalier or any other Pokemon would have been great, but you have a Rindo Berry. So if your Rindo's gone that earlier in the game, like, that gives Patters so much information about your set that he can start playing around and instantly get into a rhythm and start just pounding down at you. So giving him any info to his answer to HP, that your answer to HP Grass is gone, is kind of interesting. I would have rather seen you swap into something like Skarmory on the turn 1 when the Escavalier was there. It could have taken it on better, could have done something different.
Yeah, for sure. And that just boils down to why bringing the same team is such a double-edged sword. That was exactly what Patters was expecting, and he just kind of beat down A-Drive this game. That's just sort of what a lot of these games boil down to. Yeah, it can catch your opponent off guard when you do end up bringing the same Pokemon, but at the same time, that's exactly what Patters was expecting, and he was more than ready for it.
I do respect the Kyurem swap, predicting the Hippowdon, trying to get ground back after realizing the Delphox can shut down your entire team.
That was
and if Lycanroc went, Delphox literally just takes the game to timer.
For sure. It was disgusting how much that Mon was able to gain momentum for him. But yeah, go ahead.
So Hacks really didn't want Patters to win. If you notice, some of the things really didn't go his way. Like he missed a couple Toxics on there, but he did not get burned on this Dance first 3 Scalds.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of Hacks either way, but I do severely want to point out that Delphox Sub, Protect, Toxic, Mystical Fire is literally the most fire set we will see all week.
For sure. I don't like you, but yeah, that's a really great set. It put in a ton of work for sure. On paper, it seemed like it was a little bit reliant on A-Drive making mistakes, but especially one of the most reliable clerics in the game on his team in Florges, but it didn't really come into play. And despite that, Delphox was able to put in a ton of work, really annoy A-Drive's team, and just ultimately carry Patterns to victory.
Yeah, it was, as we see here, it was a 5-0, and the last, I believe, 2 kills were forfeited into Escavalier when Dan realized he could not break through.
Yep.
But yeah, like JB said, it's a double-edged sword bringing the same team. Like, yeah, you can see how much it did well, but that's what your opponent is going to prep for.
Yeah,
kind of getting the general idea.
I've seen it. I've seen both sides of the coin with it in the past, but I've had it happen to me. Like people have tried to do it to me twice, and both times, like it was a very similar situation where I kind of just was able to, easily pick up a win. And yeah, that's not to say it doesn't work. It doesn't have its merits, but more often than not, it is kind of more of a risk than it is the reward.
Yeah. Very high risk, very low reward on there,
Yep.
I would put it in summary. But it was an absolute gem of a game. Congratulations to Paddles for moving on to the next round. Dan, will see him, I'm sure, in the next season as he tries to make another playoff run.
Absolutely. And once again, shout out to Z Thunder Snorlax.
See, Thunder Snorlax kills Skarmory. That's just a great quote. Anyway, moving into our next game here, we have the South Texas Sableyes, coached by In Vivid Color, versus the New Orleans Pelipers, coached by John, a.k.a. Pokemon. Now,
Vivid brought a team of Galvantula, Tapu Bulu, Mega Aggron, Noivern, Nidoking, and Mew. John brought a team of Mega Diancie, Magmar, Decidueye, Diggersby, Vaporeon, and Alakazam.
Now, turn 1, swapping into Magmar to get the Flame Body to pop was absolutely horrendous for Vivid and hilarious for John.
It was hilarious for John because, as you guys have noticed in these recaps, it's kind of been a theme throughout the season is John losing the lead matchup. But he sort of was able to make up for it with the Flame Body, so it kind of makes up for the fact that he did lose the lead matchup here. But, yeah. Flame Body doing
on Vivid's side... Yeah, on Vivid's side, Noivern was a pretty safe lead, as he kind of showed a little bit of it last week. Noivern, with his set, outspeed John's entire team. Mm-hmm. So it was really, really fun to see that. And with the coverage it had, it hit everything at least neutrally, if not super effectively. So that was awesome to see. But the Flame Body getting hit on Magmar was very unfortunate here.
Absolutely.
Galvantula's the GOAT, though. I love Vivid's quote. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to click substitute, and we're going to go from there. I think that kind of described all of Vivid's game. So Vivid took this game one turn at a time, which is kind of different than what he usually does. He usually looks at his line, as he calls it, and sees his way to win. Instead, he took it one turn at a time, and it kind of dissected John's team in order to find his way to win later. So I thought that was really interesting.
So backing off of that, I thought, Vivid did a really good job of, playing his outs perfectly, and it was kind of a masterclass in positioning and being able to find that game plan despite his original plan being thrown off a little bit. It was one of the best examples this season, and by someone not named Joey, of being able to adapt and just position yourself to win despite your initial win cons being thrown off a little bit.
Yeah. Now, Scarf Diggersby was great, but I don't think this was the matchup for it. Because if it gets locked into Earthquake, Vivid has a lot of things that can just kind of switch into it. Bulu, Noivern, Mew being all able to take that on pretty well. If it gets locked into Return, Vivid has a Mega Aggron there. So I don't think it was a great bring on him. It's a cool set.
It's a great set, but it just relies a lot on Mega Aggron being gone, which he doesn't have the best ways of dealing with that Pokemon. With Mega Aggron gone, however, Adamant Scarf Return kind of claims one, but I do get what you're saying for sure.
Yeah.
It is also cool to see a Magmar come to a playoff game, but it's also a Magmar and isn't, the best of Pokemon. So, it was another risk reward kind of thing, and unfortunately, it is in fact a Magmar.
Yeah, it is just a Magmar. Now, it's a cool Pokemon, but it's not good and competitive.
Yeah, it had merits versus the Sneasel with Mach Punch and stuff, but again, that was really circumstantial looking at the team that ended up coming. It's decent for Mega Aggron, only decent because it's not the strongest of Mons, but it's cool, but it does not have enough of a punch to really merit a spot over something like a Salamence, which I know he talked about bringing.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really have a whole ton else to say. simply because Vivid just controlled this entire pace of the game from like turn 3.
Yep.
And put John into a position where he had to make plays, and Vivid read each move and decided his way to win.
Played so well. There was a specific play where he called it like a few turns out. Like, okay, he basically said, I need to get rid of these. I need to get webs up, and I need to get this matchup with Galvantula versus Vaporeon. So he had Noivern, which a U-turn on Mega Diancie into the Bulu. He predicted the Decidueye after that, and then doubled into Mega Aggron. And then from there, he doubled into Galvantula on the Vaporeon. Like, he just conditioned John perfectly, got the exact set of turns he wanted, and was eventually able to get the Galvantula in front of the Vaporeon perfectly. And from there, he was able to drop a Thunder and then get webs up right after that. It was just great.
Yeah, it was a masterclass performance from Vivid. And we, of course, as we see here on the scoreboard, we see Vivid moving on, Tapu Bulu claiming 2, Mew claiming 2. And Mew was really cool this week. Getting a 2-for-1 trade with most Pokemon is going to be awesome. Yep. So that was really, really cool to see. Mew and EMZ, as always, as we saw, did Mew and EMZ things.
Yeah, it was able to get rid of the Diggersby, which, like we said, was a pretty massive thing to get rid of, especially
massive threat.
That just freed up Mega Aggron to just be freed up, basically, and didn't really have to worry about a lot of John's offense after that. Yeah,
John missing, I think he missed 3 Focus Blasts, I think I counted.
At least
at the end game.
Sure.
Not like it, 2 for sure. Not like it crazily mattered, because it would have just mattered for differential, because at the time he's still a Galvantula who could live a couple of them and just kind of take that on. But yeah, just end game things, Thanos and stuff.
Exactly.
All right. So it was a pretty good game. So John, we are going to see him kind of get off here, and Vivid is going to go to his semifinals game. Like I said earlier, check out the Pokemon WBE Twitter. You'll see on there who is playing who and who plays the number 1 seed, Joey. So,
who did have a bye this week, for those of you wondering why you don't see a Joey game here. He has a bye.
And going into our last game of the week, we have the Milwaukee Bewares, coached by Wolfglick, versus the... Oh, I did count Nexus out last week, didn't I? My bad, guys. Pittsburgh Pichu's coached by Numb Nexus. I know, comment section, I know. Nexus brought a team of Nexus brought a team of Goodra, Tangrowth, Zapdos, Exploud, Swampert, and Skuntank versus Wolfie's team of Excadrill, Tornadus Therian, Gigalith, Virizion, Mega Blastoise, and Duosion coming back.
30-minute Wolfie intro.
Pog.
There's some things to talk about. Jellyfish suck.
Absolutely.
They're the worst. Yes. Like, come on, absolute worst. And he had a reunion with his hairbrush. Can we all get a pog for that? Like, come on. Round of applause for the hairbrush.
Absolutely, round of applause. That was pretty cool, getting his hairbrush back. My lord, the amount of tabs this man has.
Yeah.
He had 31 tabs open. I stopped the video just to count.
Bruh.
Like, I wish my computer could run 31 Chrome tabs.
Yeah, I mean,
like, anyone who knows Chrome, it's a hog. And having 31 tabs open, sorry, like, I can't have more than 5 tabs open. Otherwise, like, my OCD is, I don't need this tab, close it. I don't need this tab, close it. I only need these 3.
He needs his, stuff. Man, I got nothing.
Needs everything. There were just, like, so
punchline.
many things. Yeah. But yeah, I can understand being scared of jellyfish, though.
Yeah. And the scam call metagame is evolving, dude. I, too, have been noticing, like, calls that are very similar to my personal cell phone number. I'm like, wait, do I know this person? So I have to call and answer. It's like, what do you? How do you have my number? Like, why is your number so similar to my? Like, the metagame is evolving.
So fourth wall, like, pushing on here. I work at a cell phone company.
Are you one of those people?
No, actually. I work for, like, a branded cell phone company. And so I get calls every day. People like, I want to stop scam calls. Easiest way, report them to the FCC and block that number.
But they're like, it's all of them, man.
Yeah, as you keep going and continue to reporting the FCC, it updates their ability. You can't stop all scam calls, but there are applications that could do that for you.
Yeah.
So search the web and make sure they're reputable ones. But anyway, off topic done. Let's get right into the game here. Now, Gigalith was super strong here, and Virizion also had a great matchup, and I want to point that out first and foremost.
Yeah, Nexus just did not have a ton of ways to deal with the Gigalith. It just had a fantastic matchup, and Wolfie played it to perfection, as one comes to expect from Wolfie. And Verzion is also something. He got it in on a knockoff at one point from Tangrowth and was able to, do a little bit of damage. I believe there's a Whirlwind or something that stopped it from sort of winning right then and there. But yeah, the Verzion was awesome. He got a great read. And I thought it was really cool how Wolfie was prioritizing rapid spinning to free up stuff like Tornadus to come in and do Tornadus things. And yeah.
Yeah. One thing I do want to point out on Nexus' side is I don't think he had max happiness on his X-Cloud.
Nah.
Because he was the return did nothing. Like, X-Cloud's attack isn't great, but return should do more than that. So for getting max happiness kind of sucked. But physical was really cool tech, and the Zapdos had a really nice chance of making it really interesting towards the end game. I do feel like not bringing Mega Medicham, though, did hinder you a lot. Put a lot of offensive pressure on, which Wolfie was just able to apply more offensive pressure and put you on the back seat. So I feel like if you had brought Mega Medicham, you would have been able to, at one point, kind of put Mega Medicham in against something like a Gigalith or an Excadrill, or like, say, maybe the Mega Blastoise or something to that effect, and you could have forced Wolf to swap out, go into his check for it. So, something I did want to point out, though.
Yeah, it's just a little tough, because I believe the Excadrill was Scarf, and, that's just something you have to, like, Mega Man, he can't really do much in that matchup, also with Tornteen there, it's just a little bit rough, but it is great offense versus the Gigalith, versus the Blastoise, and then the Verzion is but because of the speed tier, but I'm pretty sure Mega Man can end up living one hit from that thing, and then the Duosion is a pretty good check to it, but Nexus did not really have enough offense to break through stuff like the Gigalith or the Blastoise at all, so.
Yeah, and because he didn't bring much offense, he kind of got put on the back foot right away and was kind of forced to play around it here. Now, hitting both Hurricanes, making Wolf's predictions easier to make was really, really interesting, because I think if he missed both those Hurricanes, if not one, the game could have shifted a little bit. Not a whole lot, I just mean differential-wise on there, but it was just kind of icing on the cake for Wolf's masterclass piece here.
Exactly. Wolf, he just had some amazing reads throughout. He was, I thought like at a certain point, the result was never really in doubt. It was just a matter of how Wolf wanted to execute his game plan into the end game and ended up picking up the win, which ended up being a pretty solid 5-0. He spread the wealth around with pretty much everything, picking up one kill. So, it was just a pretty solid game overall. And
yeah. I love how he brought in Mega Blastoise at the end to pick up a kill. It's like, hey, he's gonna get another kill.
Yeah, they still count, right? They do. Nice.
I like that a lot. I thought that kind of showed a lot of what Wolf's looking here. Like, the end game, it's certain, but he just wants to, like, put the pedal to the middle and not let up anyway. But he can still have a little bit of fun and meme around. Exactly. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yep. At the end of the day, you got to get those Mega Blastoise kills. It's important.
Absolutely. It is the kill leader of the conference, you know.
For sure. And hopefully next week, Wolf can finally pick up a win versus his Charger. At this point, it's Charger 2, Wolf 0. So hopefully at some point he can try to even that one up. He has a couple more chances, so we'll see.
He does have a couple more chances, as he guaranteed has one more as Wolf gets sent through to the semifinals, and Nexus ends his kind of miraculous run here. Nexus is kind of in it and out of it all season, so good on Nexus for making the playoffs and sneaking in here.
Yeah,
he was the number 7 seed.
He played especially well the last couple weeks of the season to secure a spot, so definitely nothing to be ashamed of from Nexus at all this season. Played pretty well for sure.
Absolutely. And with that, I think that is going to do it for us today, guys. Be sure to go check out the Shield Division recap so you can guys go see what exactly happened for the other division. Also, like we said earlier, Pokemon WBE Twitter. Find out what next week's matchups are, as we are going to be back again next week to cover the 2 semifinal games and who is on their way to taking home that championship belt.
Absolutely.
And with that, I think we're going to get on out of here today, guys. JB.
# disable ad block.
Thank you all so very much for tuning in. Go check out the Shield, and we're out of here. Peace out, Scouts.
Bye.